everybody, Mary Stoker-Smith coming at you from the Wisconsin Live Desk. Guess what? No more sleeps until the Wisconsin State Fair. It is opening day and it is off to a great start. Were you worried about the rain yesterday? So many people thought, oh no, the setup, what are we going to do? We're getting ready. Our taste buds are ready. The cream puffs have laid out. Are they going to be soggy? Are you kidding me? It's a glorious day. I don't remember in the many, many years I've been here a better picture-perfect weather opening day. I mean, it's a perfect backdrop to go on the slide, to get on the Ferris wheel, and of course to eat that beloved cream puff. We're going to take you to the State Fair in just 10 seconds, but I got to tell you, when I did my little preview here, the only thing I saw were napkins, and so that means that our photojournalist, Katie Brost, and no doubt the entire Fox 6 crew out there is getting in on this. Oh yeah. I don't know if Katie can hear me out there, but I want her to know that we have our eye on her. So let's let her get into place. I think she's probably wiping her napkin and her face from that State Fair cream puff. But you can see there, they have some new varieties this year. They have a chocolate cream puff, and that is obviously the biggest draw. The regular cream puff, but everybody's going to branch out this year and hopefully do a little something different, like we're thinking maybe a chocolate cream puff. They have the Sporky winners and the Drinky winners this year, and there are a lot of new foods to try out there. Always a big draw to the Wisconsin State Fair. The Sporky winners were really kind of creative, but my favorite that caught my eye was a French toast stick. And it was drizzled with all kinds of good stuff, including a really neat butter. It's kind of like a French Parisian butter I looked up, and you don't need syrup on it. I mean, it's that ooey gooey with like a little maple glaze. Check that out. I gotta tell you though, as people get in line for their State Fair cream puff, we're gonna take you at some point to the Dairy Pavilion because they have my favorite thing at the State Fair, which we'll come back to. What is yours? Talk amongst yourselves. Send me a direct message if you can on my Facebook page, because that would be something that I would want to see is what is your favorite. My mic, you know what? I was so salivating. My mic. I was so excited, and I'm telling you, I feel like my mouth was dripping. My mic was affected by that. But yeah, let's look at all these cream puffs right now. Let's recap. Again, opening day. And as you can see there, they have different varieties. Now, we were told there's a chocolate cream puff this year, but it's looking to me like strawberry. That looks like one of the highlights of the day. Again, as I mentioned a little earlier, the Sporkies are really good this year. They have 3 really good Sporkies, but everybody's in line for those cream puffs. And we did the State Fair cream puff run a couple weeks ago, and they sell an astronomical amount of these cream puffs. Here's the good news if you are in line there, or if you are getting to get in line, or you know somebody in line, maybe you're watching us on the app or you're planning on going out. One of those cream puffs is only about 300 calories. So you can start there and still work your way through the fair and keep it simple. They're really, believe it or not, kind of a nice low-calorie treat, if you will. So a lot of people lined up. A lot of you got your free cream puff when we did our giveaway, but it's just such a staple. It always has been. It's one of the only time of year that you can get the cream puff. But again, remember to try something different. There's always something different on a stick. And they have a really cool drink, too. It's called a Purple Haze this year. Won the Drinky Award for Best Drink. It's a mixture of grape juice, lemonade. There's a little bit of fizz in there. And then on the top of that, there is ice. And then are you ready for this? Wait for it. Pop Rocks. Yeah, Pop Rocks. Remember those? They used to kind of explode in your mouth. It is awesome. Thank you for Delaney, for bringing that up there, our producer, Delaney Reed. I didn't even tell her I was going to do that, but that, to me, looks refreshing. That would even be good as a little cocktail. I'm not suggesting that they make this a cocktail, but I'm just putting it out in the universe. That would be good with a little something, something in it. I think that would be really neat. Our photojournalist, Katie Brost, is out there. We're going to try to get some action on her as we take a look around here. She's just kind of panning the crowd. And again, you couldn't ask for a better State Fair opening day in the weather department. It's just unbelievable because we've had some days where it's just so hot and humid you can't even think about going out there. And you've had other days that, you know, maybe we're a little bit soggy and a little bit drenched. Let's go ahead and switch gears here and give you a look at the forecast. Again, for opening day today, we're looking at a cool 73 degrees. This is Chamber of Commerce kind of weather. State fair officials are salivating, and not because of the cream puffs, but because of this weather. It's an 11-day stretch for this fair. Tomorrow, if you're going for probably one of the biggest days, I would assume, being on a Friday, you get 75 degrees. And then Saturday, 80 degrees, and we are hearing from Lisa Michaels, our weather expert, wall-to-wall sunshine. We're going to head out there on Saturday to see the best event at the state fair, besides the food, in my opinion, the pig races. The pig races. While we go back and forth to state fair, because we're going to be talking about this a lot today, send me a message. Send us a message and let us know what your favorite thing to eat there is, what your favorite thing is to see. And if you make it a yearly event, a lot of people go out with families and they just make it kind of their little vacation, their little getaway. It's such a neat family event that so many people look forward to every year. So we just want to continue to monitor the weather. We're going to go back to the state fair where everybody is getting their cream puffs. I saw some chocolate cream puffs in there, that new flavor, but again, I'm seeing a lot of strawberry or cherry, looking like strawberry to me. Let me know when we can get Delaney on there and see if we can do a little something with her, because we would like to, or not Delaney rather, Katie, so we can get a little sound from her and find out exactly what is going on there besides the cream puffs, because they have a lot of activities planned for this day one. There's a full schedule. We have it on our Fox Local mobile app, but you may want to look at that. I know one of the things that they're doing this year out there is some of the, I'm going to wait and tell you about that. I'm kind of giggling because it's kind of funny, and I think I know somebody at that event. So let's go ahead and come back to that once we get Katie locked and loaded there. In the meantime, we do have, in addition to that great state fair forecast, though, we do want to talk about some of the air quality alerts that you have been hearing about. Now, you can see there from our camera that haze there. That's from the Canada wildfire smoke, and there has been an air quality alert issued for our area. Now, this is really going to include people with underlying medical conditions. If you've got asthma, if you've got young kids with any kind of breathing disorders, or if you know somebody elderly. In fact, there was an alert earlier today. We'll have to see where Milwaukee ranks, but I know we were pushing out that Chicago's air quality right now ranked worst in the world, because of the Canadian wildfire smoke. It has made our way through the area, and it's been going on right now. The Environmental Protection Agency saying that, you know, just be careful if you are out there, monitor your time, take it easy. Probably not a good day to get out there and do a lot of strenuous activity. Obviously, take some breaks, and I always think water as well can help, because that will help flush things away. But you can see that haze as we look there at American Family Field, and we've noticed it today. I thought, boy, is that cloud cover over Lake Michigan, or you know, maybe because of the weather in terms of it switching from being so hot to a little bit cooler now. But no, that's the Canadian wildfire smoke. So just something to be aware of if you are headed out and about anywhere, and including to the state fair. We have a lot going on today. We have a lot going on this weekend. Obviously, the opening day of the Wisconsin State Fair, and obviously there are a lot of festivals still going on. Jazz in the Park as well tonight down at Cathedral Square in Milwaukee. So you're going to want to keep an eye on things if you are headed out and about. But the good news is, looking at this forecast, no rain in the forecast, beautiful temperatures, all that hot, sticky humidity that we have has been ushered out, and that is the star of the show right now. You can eat that cream puff without it melting in your hands. Perfect. Everybody cashing in on the cream puff. We got to bring up our Sporky winners too, if we have a list of that. We showed you the drink there, that purple haze. But Delaney, I don't know if we have any of those Sporky winners to show you that beloved French toast right there. So this is the Ube Butter Banana French Toast. And I looked this up, you guys. This is like some type of a rich glaze, kind of a sweet, almost mapley butter that is used to coat this. We have to figure out how they get these combinations, like who came up with this. I've never even heard of this kind of butter. It's called a vibrant purple yam This is the source of it. It's called a Viber propylium as a base. It's primarily cultivated in the Philippines. I'm just giving you some fun fact talk while you wait in line. You can tell somebody there. And it's known for its distinct, sweet, nutty, vanilla-like flavor. That's what the ube is. And it's usually, obviously used for dessert. It's often like a filler. And they use it for a flavor of ice cream. They use it in jams. But it looks absolutely delicious, and so this is just kind of a drizzle on there. So somebody at State Fair, boy, had it going on when they knew to put that drizzle over that French toast. And again, this is something you can walk around while you make your way to the slide or the Ferris wheel or out to one of the fairs, highlights there of one of the big rides. It's pretty cool. I've heard it's great, never had it. I'll be trying it this weekend. One of our editors just walked by and said, yeah, it's good stuff. Do we have any other ones? There were two more too. That is the brat rangoon, because we have to have something on a stick with the brat. That looks really delightful with a little dipping sauce on the side, but that filler in there is going to be all brat, because nobody does a brat like Wisconsin does a brat. It ain't no party unless there's a brat involved, right? So that is the second place winner right there. Looks pretty good. Looks like there could be enough to share. And then we have one more as well. We showed you the drink. We showed you the top two. And this looks really good, and this looks tame. So if you're not really sure if you want to venture out into something too crazy, maybe not too spicy, not too sweet, this looks like a great middle-of-the-road alternative. The Mexican street corn pizza. Mexican street corn, of course, absolutely delicious. A little bit of sweet, and then you got that savory with a little bit, it looks like peppers on there, a little bit of lime on a really nice crust. And for you non-meat eaters, too, that would be a great option. So that came in number 3, the Mexican street corn pizza, all available at the Wisconsin State Fair. We're going to take you back here to, if we can look here at the State Fair Pavilion there. They're in the Dairy Pavilion there. And this has been remodeled, you guys. When I was out there a little earlier to cover the 5K Cream Puff Run, we got a little bit of a tour, and they were doing all of these renovations there to make it bright, to make it bigger, or at least seem bigger, and to give people more options to go out there and experience the fair. So you're going to see a lot of new stuff there. The foundation there also is selling a brownie. There is a brownie that you can get in that pavilion, and the proceeds from that brownie help to go to the foundation that do these beautification projects at the State Fair. They help bring in some new things, and they also help with the renovations. The State Fair Park, as you know, is such a beautiful park, very clean, and they really do keep things up to date. They're very proud of that. And so they're saying if you buy this brownie there, I believe it's just a chocolate brownie, you'll see it when you walk in to the pavilion there. Again, those proceeds help with the beautification efforts. It's also a great place to go if you need to cool off, as we've seen for many years when it's really hot and sticky out at the State Fair. No reason for that today, as it's so beautiful and glorious. It's a great place to stop in, but they offer so many great varieties of food. So I told you a little earlier, okay, my favorite thing to eat at the State Fair, I go every year almost for this, the grilled cheese. I know it sounds pretty simple, but they're really economical. You get like 3 for $7 or something like that. You can get your traditional cheddar or your Swiss, and it helps our state obviously remain the dairy state, but they're really good. They're just simple grilled cheese. They're hot off the grill, and they stack them up and they make them. I swear they're making 500 at a time. Look at the kid right to your left on your screen, it's to the right of mine, and he is covered in cream puff. Look at this kid. I mean, he's got to be, he's tearing it up, but he's got to have a pound of State Fair cream puff stuff on him. Are you kidding me? His parents are like, yeah. Now it's on the ground. Yeah, you're going to the side of one of the animal barns to get hosed down. We're not even going to wait till we get home. That's a lot of sticky cream puff. That's really the only way to eat it. We should see if we can talk to him. If we can get a hold of our photojournalist out there, Katie Brost, hopefully. That would be kind of fun to talk to him and see what we can do. Bring him in for a little State Fair cream puff action. Oh, boy. Yeah. That's crazy. So if you're headed out there, you're going to have a great forecast. There's so much to do there. We have the full itinerary on our Fox Local mobile app, but obviously That's one of the neat things to do. There's also a lot of other things going on. We're going to keep that picture up because it's just fun to look at the state fair if you are headed out there and just kind of get you excited for it. But we have a lot going on today. There's obviously we're in the prime of the summer season, and so there are all kinds of things to do. As I said, we have the food going on there at the state fair, and then also we're going to talk a little bit more about when this air quality alert may be dropping, because we just need to know when it may be a little bit safer if you're worried about maybe what day to head out to the fair. Those air quality alerts we thought would be done by now because we've seen them through and through again. And again, these fires from Canada and the smoke there just seems to be blanketing our skies. It just seems to never be going away. So we'll check with Lisa Michaels in just a little bit. I'm sending her a message right now to figure out maybe when that could be raised a little bit. Because if you look at that, I'm going to show you this again. It looks like it's even thicker than last time. This air quality alert issued for our state, particularly bad down in the Chicagoland area, worst in the world right now. That's what they're saying. It just doesn't seem to be letting up. And so again, if you have those underlying health issues, you just want to be very careful. And I've seen a lot of people even with masks on now, and you think, oh, well, the you know, obviously the pandemic is over, what's going on with the mask? Well, if you've got anything going on there, you may want to be careful because some of this can be very, very dangerous if you've had asthma or any of the underlying health conditions. Again, air quality alert until noon on Friday. So again, that's about 24 hours from now. That's for our area, southeastern Wisconsin here. You can see the surface smoke as we just showed you from the Canadian wildfires. I'm going to take you back outside. You can see there that surface smoke rising, and that's the reason for that. We'll keep an eye on that. And then, of course, it's just really unhealthy for everybody, really blanketing our area here in southeastern Wisconsin. And as we said, even down to our south. Sometimes it will dissipate a little bit more as we get down south, not so much as you see there on our look at American Family Field. It is just really, really thick out there. Brewers not playing today, by the way, as we're looking at American Family Field. They have the day off today. They're going to resume their quest to keep that record great. They're going to be heading out west, but they want that record to stay where it is. I mean, they were into the best record in the league. They lost to the Cubs yesterday, of course, and so that brought things down a little bit. Cubs are a really good team, and it seems like it's going to go neck and neck with this series here, but we got our eye on them, and boy, we got some good hitters there. It's so fun to watch the Miz as we look at AmFam and just think about all of the joy that he's brought us and really the vitality of this team. And also hearing from the skipper, Mr. Murphy, every week has been fun to get to know him. It's just been a fun ride for the Brewers. And all the questions that you sent in when I want to speak to the manager, as you know, Ted Perry doing that series right there, that's always fun. But it's been neat to hear the questions and to hear what's going on at American Family Field there. If you are headed out there at some point, kind of fun to look at the tickets and go to the family events there. That's going to be going on as well. But again, Brewers off today. Perfect timing, of course, with the state fair going on today, that they're taking the day off because we want everybody to head out there to the State Fair Park in West Allis. Let's take you back to the State Fair Park and to see, again, those lines for the cream puffs. The brand new flavor this year, the chocolate. And that goes along with the cherry/strawberry we're seeing. And then also there's that classic flavor of vanilla. But there's also a lot of good eats out there, a lot of neat things to see as you stroll through the animal barns. A lot of shows going on multiple times during the day. Growing up, because we're here, I'm just going to vamp a little bit. Growing up in western Wisconsin, this was our big deal. You primed your calf for the big state fair. And a lot of these animals that go there, I mean, they really work all year for that. It looks like we're going to be talking to somebody very shortly here about what kind of cream puff she's got. But anyway, the animal barns are a really big draw because there's a lot of prizes that are involved in money. And let me take that level down a little bit there. So we'll come back to that in just a little bit, but that's always a big draw. But as we see there, our photojournalist, Katie Bro, she's putting a microphone, and I'm going to mute her mic right there. We got the extraordinarily giving Wisconsin State Fair patron there waiting to eat her cream puff so she can talk to us. I think we may have her now. Katie, can you hear me?
Already.
All right. Okay.
Well, it looks good. It's a bright pink color.
It's a bright pink.
Almost looks like a sorbet flavor.
Yeah. Rainbow eggs.
Nice fresh strawberry flavor.
Oh,
sweet.
it's strawberry. Good.
It has a nice contrast to the dough. I think it's a 10.
Strawberry flavor you usually like?
I love strawberry. So I think it's a winner all around, but I would say I even like this better than the original.
That was going to be my next question.
Mm-hmm.
Like it better than the original. Okay.
I do.
What's your favorite part about the steak fair? Like, what traditions do you do? What's your favorite thing?
So I'm personally a big fan of the milk station. I love trying all the different flavors, including strawberry milk. And really just being out here with friends and family and enjoying all things Wisconsin.
And just like as a county supervisor, like how like how isn't I'm trying to like word this like. Can you talk about like how good like the state fair is for the county, just stuff like that?
Absolutely. I mean, anything that's good for Milwaukee County is good for the state, and vice versa. And any opportunity we have to reflect how wonderful Milwaukee County is to everybody else that lives here in Wisconsin, I feel like we're only stronger together. So to have them here and enjoy Milwaukee County while enjoying a cream puff or just time with the family is always a win.
Is there any food this year that you're excited to try?
Well, I already tried the lumpia. It was like the banana ube French toast lumpia.
Yeah,
that was
the sporty side.
fantastic. And I'm looking forward to the watermelon pickle lemonade. I haven't found it yet, but that's next up.
I want that too. That is on my list. I was like, watermelon, pickles, my favorite.
Win.
Can you just say and spell your first and last name?
Sure. Caroline Gomez Tom, Caroline, and then Gomez Tom is GOMEZ-TOM.
And you're a county supervisor.
And I'm a county supervisor, District 14, near Southside.
All right, awesome. Well, it was good to see you.
Great, thank you.
Thanks for being a sport.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just saw you have that, and I was like, let me get you getting the first bite.
And I got the powdered sugar on my hands.
That's right.
Okay, it's strawberry. So we were worried what flavor that was. It is a strawberry. I have official confirmation. There's a strawberry cream puff. So you've got your original, you got your chocolate, and you got your strawberry. And you heard her talk about the ube French toast. So start making your list. Maybe start with that and then end with that decadent cream puff. We did talk about the drinky winner, and that was that purple haze drink. But we did mention earlier they had that pickle flavored kind of a lemonade. And pickle juice, for some reason, you guys, is having a moment. We're not sure why, but obviously State Fair officials are in the know. They're trending. And so you've got to try that. The young lady that we were just talking to is going to make her way over to the area, the concession area where they're selling that pickle flavored drink juice thing. But that's what State Fair is all about. It's all about trying something new, getting out, enjoying Wisconsin with this great weather, seeing the animals, seeing the rides, and a lot of people use this as a way to do a little family reunion. We always go out there every year and we interview people, and people come together. It's like a yearly tradition. They kind of meet in the same spot because the layout there is pretty much the same every year, or they use it to meet friends as a gathering place. So many neat places to go. Don't forget about the Wineberry Bar area too. That's nice. But also that Dairy Pavilion, that newly renovated Dairy Pavilion is really one of the best places, as we're going to show you that again. They've done a lot of work there. The foundation there with this Wisconsin State Fair raises money so that they can keep things fresh and new and vibrant. And this is one of the neat, newly renovated areas of the state park, and that is that dairy building right there. Again, when we were out there a couple weeks ago doing the 5K Cream Puff run, it was just finishing up. I said to Anna Zeck, the president there of the foundation, is it going to be ready in time? She said, oh, it'll be ready. And you can see everything shiny and new. It's just a beautiful area. It looks bigger. It looks more vibrant, as you can see, and a lot more space for people to line up, get whatever they need to get in terms of their food, but also maybe just even use it as a meeting place. Many years it's been used as an area just to cool off. But at this point, according to this, we don't need it. Look at the State Fair forecast. We are in for a treat today equal of a sticky cream puff, 73 degrees. Tomorrow getting a little bit warmer, 75 with very light winds, and looks like the pick of the week is going to be Saturday, 80 degrees, light winds, and according to Lisa Michaels, we have abundant sunshine coming in. So you really are in for a treat if you are headed out there and you want to make plans to get out to the state fair. Again, just being abundantly cautious. We don't want to deter anybody from getting out, but we just want to make sure that you are constantly in the know, and we're pushing this air quality alert that is in effect in our area in southeastern Wisconsin until noon tomorrow. We will see if it goes beyond that. The surface smoke from the wildfires, as we've been showing you on that last shot from American Family Field, really, really heavy out there. So you want to just take precautions. You know, maybe, again, go into the pavilion if you need to take a break, if you're really feeling that you can smell some of the smoke or feel some of the smoke. If you have those underlying health conditions, a good time to get in there and maybe just take a break. But again, that air quality alert in effect until Friday, and then the surface smoke from the wildfires is what's causing it. And most people are saying, just take a break from it if you can. But again, hopefully this will dissipate and we will get back to just this lovely weather that we are in store for. You can see the smoke again right there, and we're going to take you right back to the Wisconsin State Fair right there as our Katie Brost, our photojournalist, is talking to everybody. Right now, if you are headed out to the State Fair, which it did open this morning, traffic is looking real good. Things are moving along right there. Very little red on that map. So if you're headed out to any event going on, looks at this point like things will be really, really easy to get to. State Fair, of course, open all day today. There's other events going on, festivals going on and fairs, Jazz in the Park going on tonight downtown at the Cathedral Park, Cathedral Square there. So again, things are looking good so far, but really nice flow of traffic. And if you are headed to State Fair, a lot of places to park out there, so there should be no problem. Or if you're doing maybe a park and ride. Let's try to get some other news going here too while we're going to take a break, because I'm just looking here at the traffic, the airflow, and again, that flow with State Fair, it's off to a perfect start. So as we leave you with a look at the traffic, we're going to take a quick break, come back because we've got a lot more to get to, a lot going on in southeastern Wisconsin as we all head into the weekend, because we made it through almost another work week together. So let's take a quick break and we will be right back.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back, everybody. Mary Stoker Smith here at the Wisconsin Live Desk, 12:59. I am pumped. Are you pumped? We wait for this all year. Growing up in Wisconsin, this was it. This was our Super Bowl. We would come from La Crosse to go to the Wisconsin State Fair, nice stretch, and knock on wood, the weather was usually always good, hot and sticky and humid, but we'd make our way from the animal barns all the way around. We didn't have the fancy pavilions back in the day, but you always had the cream puffs, you always had something on a stick, you always had the rides, and of course, the fun animal barns. And a lot of people from the western part of the state make their way here every year, and they stay here. They sleep in the barns, as you've seen, if you go through the animal barns, and if you don't, you just got to go through. They got their sleeping bags and their straw. They have their huge coolers, and they make it a 10-day stretch of kind of like camping in the barns to show their animals. And there's a lot at stake here, a lot of big prizes, money at hand, of course, for those animals, but they really work for this all year, and they show their prized steer or their prized heifer, or their, they may have a pony or whatever. One of the other neat things that they do at the state fair, of course, is they have the Clydesdales. You'll see there they bring them through as almost kind of like a little parade to get people inspired. And as I mentioned earlier in the first half hour, if you haven't seen the pig races, Christina Pigolera, I think is one of them, or Hogalera, Biggie Pauls, Biggie Smalls, the pig. They name the pigs. They have these great names. You got to see the pig races. They have about 4 a day, and they segregate them so that you can see them like at 3, 5, and 7. It's big fun. So much to do out there. We have our team on the ground there. We brought you a lot of cream puff action, but you know who's getting in on most of the fun? Walking the ground, sampling the foods, talking to everybody out there, and hopefully getting on a ride. The king of fun here at Fox 6, Carl Deffenbaugh, because nobody does it bigger, nobody does it better than CD. Carl, how you doing out there?
Can I get that right in writing, Mary? I think I need that on business cards here. But it is funny. I'm looking around at all of some of my favorite memories. Way back there, here at the State Fair, is the ejector seat that I went on live on Fox 6 Wake Up many years ago. But yeah, we try to bring you it all here. As this is a nice little role reversal. I get to be on this side of things for the Wisconsin Live Desk for once. We are out here at the main intersection of the Wisconsin State Fair, 2nd and Central, where you get a little bit of everything. You get all of the flavors of the Wisconsin State Fair, back for its 174th year this year. So let's just run it down. The giant slide, right? You got to do it. It's tradition, Mary. You got to do one trip down the giant slide.
Oh, yeah.
Right below that, you get Saz's Pavilion, a classic, whether it's Summerfest or State Fair, of course. Let's see, as we rotate around here, I think you can just see a shot of the Wonder Fair. Of course, all the people out here on opening day who have waited many, many long months just to get back, try all the food, try the amazing things. The Sky Gliders behind our photographer, Tim Primo, here, along with Slim McGinn's, the place that's so kind to us each and every year, and some people enjoying the corn. Love it. Love it, because that, Mary, is actually why I'm here with Tim today. Pretty cool story that we're working on. There are so many State Fair staples, right? And you alluded to one of them there with the cream puffs. But the corn is something that so many people just have to try. And I love it because it's so basic, right? It speaks to the agricultural history and culture and tradition of Wisconsin. This is an ear of sweet corn grown about a 90-minute drive from here. All it is, a lot of butter, some salt and seasoning, and that's about as fresh as it can be. So what we're working on here today, Mary, we're going to have a story for you guys next week on Fox 6 that we've actually spent months pulling together. All the idea of a guy on our assignment desk that a behind-the-camera face that the viewers wouldn't recognize, but Mark Krieger had the idea to follow the State Fair corn from seed to the State Fair. So way back in May, we met a farmer named Ben Alsum, who works at Alsum Sweet Corn. For the last few years, they have been the provider of corn to the New Berlin Lions corn stand. And we've been following the growth of the corn over the last few months. So we were there the day they planted one of their first plantings of the season. We checked in July, that kind of, classic knee-high by the 4th of July. Well, they are way past that, the work it takes to be a farmer in Wisconsin and prepare our great products. And yesterday, they picked this corn fresh in the morning on Wednesday. Oh, by all means, go run through. This is the Wisconsin Live Desk. You can do whatever you want. That's Mary Stoker-Smith on the other side of the camera. You got a message for Mary?
Hi, Mary.
Hi.
It's a great day at the fair.
It is a great day at the fair. You're right.
You know what?
And what are we drinking today?
I better not be on TV. Beer.
Okay, that's fine. You're not working today, right? We're not supposed to be at work?
No.
Never mind. Keep on walking. Keep on walking.
I'm retired. Okay. Ciao, Mary.
Food in your
Thank you very
teeth.
much for joining us. No, we want it. We want it.
She needs to wear that
Mary,
like
she
a
has no
badge of
idea that we
honor.
are live right now
Yes.
on the live desk, right? I know, it's the beauty of being out here.
Oh.
So yeah, we met this farmer, Ben Alsam, who's a fourth-generation farmer. They picked this corn yesterday, and that's really the secret sauce here, right? Is how much time and effort goes into it. This corn tastes about as fresh as you could possibly want, coming from a farm in Randolph, Wisconsin. To State Fair yesterday and into the mouths of so many people already here on opening day. So thought it's a pretty neat story. It's one that we're putting together for you for next week, but we're out here kind of getting the excitement, the fun of the opening day here at State Fair.
Hey, so Carl, I got to ask you because I got to tell you, I'm admitting this, I'm a little embarrassed. A little earlier,
Thank you very
I
much.
said,
Appreciate it.
what did he just give you? What was that?
It was a card from a kid, so I'll hang
Oh,
on
a
to
card
that. You
from
know
a
what else
kid.
I got? I think I lost it in my pocket. Someone gave me, because it's Wisconsin, oh shoot, it's in one of my other pockets, gave me a Culver's free scoop token. They just came up to me and said thank you. He gave me a Culver's token. So
Random?
there's plenty of other good food you can get at the fair, but maybe afterwards on the way home I'll stop at Culver's.
Yeah, just
Go
to
ahead.
top it off, you know, make sure you head over to the Pick and Save for a side of Pepto. Hey, I got to tell you, so a little
Yeah,
earlier,
right.
we were looking at the cream puffs, and I was so enamored. They have a new flavor. They have strawberry, which we saw, and
Yeah.
chocolate. But I said my favorite thing at the fair is the basic grilled cheese. You know what I forgot? Probably tied with that is that corn. My husband and I make a.
I mean, it says
We make a point of stopping by and we don't talk. Takes a lot to shut me up. You don't even need butter. And I say to them every year, I'm like, I'm coming to New Berlin. What do they do to that stuff? It's not real.
so, and this is the thing, it's as fresh as it can be, and that's the real key. So the farm itself is actually in Randolph, Wisconsin, about like 90 minutes northwest of Wisconsin State Fair Park. Oh look, our best friend's back and she's fully loaded. She has something to pair that beer with. Some fresh Wisconsin
I am not
corn
mad at you.
for
Get
ya.
it, get at it, get at it.
Your review.
You don't edit
Your
these
review.
things, do you?
Nope, it is live. Anything could happen.
Oh, come on. You want a bite?
How does it taste?
Yes.
Tell Mary how it
You
tastes. She's back
want a
there
bite?
hungry in the studio. What's your review?
It's super de duper pooper good. This
Yeah.
pooper isn't swearing, right?
No, I think we're
No.
safe. That's good. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
This one is my favorite. All right. But you know what? That's why people come out. So to your point about just how fresh it tastes, how do they do it? It's that time. So the farmer, Ben, who we'll meet in the story, said basically from the moment you pick it off the stalk, the sugar in the sweet corn begins to switch into starch. So the longer and longer it goes, it switches from sugar into starch. And then it kind of gets that flavor that you're used to from, you know, something packaged in maybe a big box store out there in plastic and the like. But what they do is they immediately pick it, get it ready to go, put it in a cooler, and then they bring it here, and it's in the cooler overnight, and then first thing this morning they start serving it. So it's within that basically 24-hour period that you're tasting it, and that's the key. Within 24 to 48 hours, you still have all of that great sugar. It goes into those giant roasters behind it,
Yes.
a giant dip of butter after that, and you're
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
much good to go.
Okay, so here's my question. I don't know if you asked him. They're not soaking it then, because we used to soak our corn in milk. No soaking?
I think the experts would say no, don't
Yeah,
do that. Now,
right.
granted, the rest of us don't have
Yeah.
one of these like giant roasters like the New Berlin's Lion Club, but
Right.
it basically just goes in there fresh for 30 minutes. I think it gets up to like 500, 600 degrees, but it's roasting in there, still in all the layers there, and then they pull it out, peel it for you right there, dip it in butter, and again, about as fresh as can be. The other really cool side to it, and it will be part of the story as well, is, as you mentioned, the New Berlin Lions side of it. So they have been hosting this corn stand at the State Fair since 1959, going back over 75 years now. And the coolest thing about it, obviously there's tons of great restaurants and bars that provide the food for the State Fair. A lot of them are here to make money. That's great, as they should. The New Berlin Club, it's all raising money for the different organizations and groups that they support over the course of the year. So even here today, there's a bunch of volunteer groups. We had the Muskego cheerleading team is here, the Tosa West dance team, the Trojans, very proud, work in the stands. They get donations from the Lions Club for their time served here doing work in the corn stand. And then from the proceeds, they try to raise, I think from what one of the guys we talked to, basically in total over the 11 days, they'll sell more than 100,000 ears of corn.
Oh, I believe
and
it.
at $4 a pop, they're getting basically $200,000 after expenses and things like that.
Yeah.
So that they are able to donate all that money to different organizations, including some of our fans here. Here, I'm going to try to jump in for you, Mary. Do you guys mind if I interview? This is live right now, so this is fun. This is a Fox 6 on the Wisconsin Live Desk. You're just having your first bite of corn. What do you think?
It's so good. So delicious.
Tell us about, is this family here, friends? What do we have?
This is all family here.
Is it a tradition for opening day? Tell us the family history. What do you guys have to do?
So they came in from California for Reese's birthday, and we're here at State Fair celebrating.
Oh, wait, the little birthday girl. How old is she turning?
She's turning 5.
5. Happy birthday. That's adorable. Happy birthday, Reese Whitman, turning 5 today at the Wisconsin State Fair. What do you guys have to do when you're here? What are like the must-haves? You got the corn. What else will we be doing?
Cream puffs. Yeah, cream puffs, fun rides,
Nice.
animals, everything.
Now, you're doing the corn and the food before the rides. Is that the right way to do it, or I don't know?
Maybe not.
You know, all right. We're checking in with you on the right side of that. Yeah. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to besides the birthday girl over there?
No, all the
Oh,
family.
come on. Yeah, please.
I'd like to give a shout out to Poppy Martirano.
Yeah.
He's staying at home today, but we're bringing him food back.
I love it. I love it. You're looking out for him. Well, thank you guys very much. Enjoy the day. This is awesome. Love the traditions. Love it all. Oh, yeah, let's get a bite. Let's get the full effect here. Yeah. The birthday girl's your sister. That's awesome. Do you want to wish your sister a very happy birthday here? Here, Tim, what would you like to say to your sister?
She's always wanted a cat, but she's never got one because my dad's allergic.
Well, there's a lot of animals here, right?
I'm gonna wish her she's able to see cats.
There are so many animals. I hope you find some cats today, and that's so sweet. A sister wishing her sister a happy 5th birthday as well. It's the Wisconsin State Fair, Mary. What's not to love? Oh. All right. Tell me your name again.
Wait.
Reese. Happy birthday, Reese. It's very exciting. Is there any one thing that you want to do today at the fair for your birthday, your special day?
The cheese slide.
The giant cheese slide. I love it. That's one of my favorites, too. Do you like it? Do you like slides? Yeah. Nice. You're going to love it. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. That's so fun. Enjoy your day, guys. Mary, what else do you want? We got it all for you here at the State Fair.
What a treat. I talked about that, Carl, before we came to you. I said, this is a time, it's about the food, it is about the fun, and it is about the Ferris wheel. But it's really about families coming together. And you talk to so many people out there, you've really captured the essence. Families gather. It's a great way, hey, let's meet at the fair. Yeah. Friends that you may not have seen all year long. There's so many different places that you can go. And even, a day like today, you may want to duck in the pavilion. It's just great, the weather. Does it feel perfect, as perfect as it looks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredible, I'll be honest. Having been down here for a number of these over the years, I am not hardly sweating, and that's wearing like a dark polo on a sunny day. I will say, because I know you've been talking about it, you notice the wildfire smoke? Like it should be blue skies above us, and that's not fog or clouds. It is the wildfire smoke. So for some people, it might be a bit of a concern. Clearly not stopping many people from getting down here and enjoying it, and the rest of the weekend's just going to be gorgeous too.
Oh yeah, it is great. Boy, you've had a great morning. Before I let you go, 2 questions. First of all, I know you were down there this morning. Yeah. Was it packed right away from the get-go, or the crowds, is this kind of the bigger crowd right now?
So I got here a little bit later. I had to wake up in studio while Nicola and Rob were here for Real Milwaukee and the like. But I got down here around 11, so only like an hour after the gates opened. Yeah. And it was already, parking lots were full. There were lines down 76th Street to get into the Milwaukee Mile, park your car. So yeah,
that's
I think a lot of people were sick today on opening day.
I know. Boy, I have a tickle. I think I might have a tickle right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
You did a great job. Thanks again for the corn, just to remind us, because it really is. It also does benefit the Lions Club, and they do so many great things throughout the year. So you're giving back in addition to getting something great. TMI.
It's been neat to see. I'll just kind of wrap say one last thing about the farm side of it, because again, this story is going to be available hopefully next week for folks on Fox Local and the like. But the farmer, Ben, that we've gotten to know over the months, he's provided State Fair corn for years now. He's fourth generation. His family's been farmers in Wisconsin. He has never gotten to eat his own corn at the Wisconsin State Fair because this is his crunch time, right? He has to pick and provide the corn each and every day for all of us to be out here and enjoying. So it's a good reminder, honestly, of how the food on our tables actually gets there and how many people here in Wisconsin, such a great agricultural state, how much work they are doing for us to provide this amazing corn. So that's a cool side of it. Obviously, the side of all the money that the Lions are supporting and all the groups they're supporting here. It's just part of the fun of the Wisconsin State Fair, right? It's something to keep in mind as you're down here enjoying it all.
No taste testing. Come on. I mean, I get my nose in it.
He definitely eats his fair share of corn. I just mean specifically from the Lions stand.
Yeah. It's just, you got to just make a mess. It smells so good, too. I mean, that's the other thing. It is delightful.
It's amazing, yeah.
Oh, well, have a great time. It looks like a great opening day, and it just, again, picture perfect.
I swear this is work, Mary. We are
I
back
was
to
going to
work
say,
after this,
well, before
it's not a bad assignment.
Before I let you go, have you or are you going to try something new? We talked about our Sporkies winner and our Drinky winner.
Yeah.
Are you going to venture out and try something sensational on a stick?
You'll appreciate this. So our the Sporkies winner is this amazing like ube lumpia, kind of a Filipino dessert combination of some kind. Our former co-anchor Angelica Duria, who now lives in Pittsburgh, sent me their link the moment they won the Sporkies contest, because she's Filipino as well. I was like, you have to try this for me. So I'll be tracking that down, and of course anything else that comes my way.
I just gave a rundown of what I went into this dissertation into what ube is, and it's this Filipino sweet. I'm amazed. I can't wait to try this. Well, okay, take a taste test. Let us know how you like it, because wow. Carl Deffenbaugh, I want to be you today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And shout out to Tim Primo, my photojournalist behind the camera, doing the hard work.
Oh, and Tim's the best. He deserves something. Put it on my bill. Grab something.
We might have an in on some corn, I'll say that. But
save some for me. Oh, all right, Carl, thank you. It was so great to see you. Let's give you a look at this weather, you guys, because, again, I know you're thinking, okay, what day should I go? Well, there are a lot of different days that you should be going. If you're just looking at the weather here, we're looking at the long stretch, which we can talk about later. But for right now, again, 73, going to be a great night to get out and about if you are feeling a little office blues and want to head out there a little bit early. Otherwise, maybe tomorrow you want to play some hooky or you got some time off this summer. Saturday looks to be the pick of the week. I know we're eyeing that to get out there. A great time to get in on some of the rides because it'll be dry, eat some of those great foods, and of course just walk the grounds because it's such a beautiful, beautiful area that we have there for the State Fair. Not every city has this, and we are so fortunate to have the renovations out there, to have a really clean park, to have a really great crowd, and to just have that great vibe that people wait for every year. So that's fantastic. We do need to tell you, because we keep reiterating this, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention that. Yes, American Family Field, but the haze that you see there, that's from the Canada wildfires. And it's just that smoke you can just see there blanketing southeastern Wisconsin. There is an air quality alert. This air quality alert is going to be hanging out for quite a while. Not quite sure when that will dissipate, but we know for now it's going to be until noon on Friday. That surface smoke, as you can see there, not really letting up. And it's just a reminder to be healthy if you have any underlying health conditions. If you've got asthma, maybe take an extra puff of that inhaler or whatever you need to do. Consult your doctor, but also take, and I say that for myself because I have asthma, so I just am monitoring it. My doctor said, just see how you're feeling when you're out and about. And you may want to take a break. That way you can go to maybe the pavilions if you are feeling bad, if you're out on the fair or out one of the festivals this weekend, because there's a lot going on. So that's a look at the air quality there at American Family Field. And we're going to give you a quick look at the traffic. If you are headed out and about, it is really, really green, and that's good because that means go. So if you're headed out and about, you shouldn't have any problems. We are going to come right back here in the Wisconsin Live desk, but we're going to take a quick break while we regroup and bring you some more news. We have a couple more new nuggets to tell you about, so keep it right here. We'll be right back.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey everybody, Mary Stoker-Smith coming at you from the Wisconsin Live Desk. What a great day for State Fair opening day here. We have been bringing you the sights, the sounds, and I wish the smells, because things look pretty good out there, and a beautiful forecast as well, just for anything that you're doing, heading out and about as you're making your weekend plans here as we head to August. Can you believe August 1st, tomorrow? Yeah, we got to get it all in. We got a lot to get to. We are going to take you to New York for what has been so far a very reverent and a very solemn scene for the New York police officer who lost his life during the shootings that happened at that high-rise earlier in the week. That high-rise claimed the lives of many people, but also we are focusing in today on Didarul Islam. He is the police officer that was killed during that terrible, terrible shooting in New York. Father of two, another baby on the way. And it has just been heartbreaking to hear about how he stepped up to protect others and perhaps even save the lives of other people. But to hear his story of heroism, to hear how he, as we all have seen in our officers here in Milwaukee, loved being a police officer, his service to New York and his service to his department. We're going to take you to New York in just a bit to look at this reverent scene that we are seeing there as they pay tribute to this fallen officer. And we are hearing more details, of course, about that terrible shooting, perhaps the motive behind the attack, and more about the alleged gunman and what was going on in his quest to leave Las Vegas, drive to New York to carry out this shooting. It's just a tragic story. But we do want to switch gears, take you to southeastern Wisconsin before we get to that, and just give you a look right now at American Family Field, because that is a perfect illustration of the air quality right now. I keep going back to this because that haze doesn't seem to be dissipating. We are under an air quality alert until at least noon tomorrow. If that will change, we don't know. But right now, until noon Friday, surface smoke from the wildfires is causing that, and this is all of southeastern Wisconsin. There are reports that says Chicago right now is really in the thick of it with really bad air quality, in fact, the worst in the world right now, and so that's what is going on right there. We don't know when that will be lifted, but just to give you another live look at that, just be careful if you're out there, if you need a mask, if you have maybe some underlying conditions, health conditions, that would be something to think about right now. In terms of the state fair, from what we have seen, though, the roads are really good right there, and it looks as though, as we take a look at the map, if you're going out there, absolutely no problems right now. Everything seems to be flowing on the roadways, and no problems at all right now. We're going to give you a look at the state fair forecast if you are headed out there, because it looks like nothing but sunshine here. We have wall-to-wall sunshine and just a beautiful stretch of weather. We talked to weather expert Lisa Michaels, who is saying that there are no problems in terms of being on the roadways right now because there's abundant sunshine. Yesterday we saw all of that rain, and during that rain, I know a lot of people said, boy, it was kind of hard to drive. And so when you look at that, right now, it looks as though it's really, really clear for a sunny stretch for the next 10 days. I'm looking at that, so that is something to keep in mind. What we want to do right now is we want to take you back to the scene that I was talking about right now, and that is in New York right now, and they are paying their respects. This is paying homage. You see all of the officers there in their black, and you see the procession, something that is really reminiscent and almost eerie to us as we honored our fallen officer, Corder Kendall, just a little bit ago. What was it, boy, now 2 weeks ago, Kendall Corder rather, MPD fallen officer. We saw that same type of scene here in Brookfield as we paid homage to one of our fallen officers who served the Milwaukee Police Department for right around 6 years, a 32-year-old officer from our area who was laid to rest, and so many people, likely you watching, came out to pay respects to him. We know their grief, we know their agony, and you can see here that they have all come out wearing their uniforms and paying homage to this officer who was killed in this tragic New York shooting that happened earlier this week. His name was Didarul Islam. He was the father of two and another baby on the way. We heard from friends and family members that, as you can imagine, his wife absolutely grief-stricken, and the department, of course, in mourning. We heard from a very emotional New York mayor about how they were feeling in the city and the way that they were preparing for this day to say goodbye and to also get their hands and their heads around exactly what happened during this shooting. As we know, the suspect, we were learning, traveled from Nevada to New York. He had a note in his pocket which gave some indications as to what his motive may have been. He went there to a high-rise in New York with the hopes of targeting the NFL offices which are housed there, because he was blaming his head trauma, some of the health concerns that he had, on football injuries. Even though he didn't play professional football, he did play in college. And so that appeared to be the motive, that he wanted to come to New York, go to the office building, and go to the headquarters there of the NFL to basically settle his grievances, if you will, and express his concern in a just, as you could say, almost what could have been maybe preventing more deaths. A big mistake happened on his part. He went to the wrong floor. And so that's kind of was the catalyst of this. He went to the wrong floor, didn't get off on the right floor for the NFL offices, but it was still just a tragic, tragic scene there as it played out. And here again, now we have politicians and relatives and members of the NYPD gathered there for the funeral of the officer. He was one of 4 people killed in that Midtown Manhattan mass shooting, as we said. This officer that they're honoring today was actually off duty working a security job when he was fatally shot by that gunman who opened fire. This happened on Monday. And again, the man got off on the wrong floor, still managed to claim the lives of those 4 people, eventually taking the life of himself and this officer. But it was just such a terrible situation, and now we're seeing this reverent scene, and we are hearing that the family is expected to be there to say goodbye to their son, their husband, and it just basically honor his life and also honor the lives that he potentially saved during this time. 3 days ago, his life was taken, and so many people are just still gathering their thoughts, trying to learn more about this tragic shooting and figure out exactly what happened here. And the city of New York as a whole just absolutely mourning. This particular officer, Officer Islam, moved to New York from Bangladesh when he was 20, hoping to build a better life, he said, and as he was looking to move up, he looked at America as his dream, as something to build with your own hands, one of his family members said. And so it's just a tragic day, especially when you learn another baby was on the way. It's unimaginable when you look at the officers, what they do every day. New York City Mayor Eric Adams met with his family on Wednesday. We heard from him earlier in the week, and he was very, very emotional. The 3 other victims that were killed on Monday as well are being honored. And the message here from state lawmakers was, you are not alone. All of New York grieves with you. The city will carry memories forward and also work on heightened security in that area. We did want to bring you that as we transition here from this funeral. We're going to bring you back to southeastern Wisconsin on a much, much lighter note. But we wanted to bring you that. But we're going to bring you back here to talk about some of the lighter things going on here in southeastern Wisconsin. It's always hard to segue out of that, but we must do that. But there's no other better way to segue than to the person to my right now, the lovely Kim Murphy, who's going to be taking over for me. We're going to bring you more on the state fair, more on that air quality, and more on the delightful forecast here in southeastern Wisconsin, and also some other news of the day. So it's been great to have you along today on this opening day of State Fair. Great day here in southeastern Wisconsin. I'm going to turn over the reins here to Kim and bring you much more. Don't go away, because we just got the party started today with State Fair, and we're going to keep it moving, and we don't want you to miss a minute of it. We'll be right back. Keep it right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
I can't get enough of you. You can't get enough of me. We can't quit each other. I'm back for one more segue. We're going to leave you with, we haven't gotten to the State Department briefing yet, so we're going to leave you with a little listen and look on that. So we touch all aspects here of our news coverage today. But again, Kim Murphy stepping in for me. We'll be right back with much more to come. So keep it right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. I'm going to leave you with the State Department briefing right now.
Iran's nuclear sites. Do you have any comment on that?
Well, what I can say is that any demands for financial compensation from the United States to the Iranian regime are ridiculous. If the Iranian regime really wanted to save money or alleviate some of the sanctions policy, they would stop taking destabilizing actions. They would stop wasting money on their nuclear program. They would stop sending money to terrorist death squads across the region. They would stop oppressing their own people. So if they really wanted to save money or find a way towards prosperity for their people, they would start taking those actions. So any demands for financial compensation from the United States are ridiculous, but to stress, the United States is ready to talk with Iran. Iran has a short window of opportunity, but the ball is in Iran's court. So we're waiting to see what they do in terms of now it's in their court. Yes.
Thank you, Tommy. To follow up on the topic of Iran, we saw today the joint statements on Iranian state threat activity in Europe and North America. I was just curious about the timing of this statement with the U.S. and so many allies signing on, and whether this was driven by any kind of a spike in the attacks that you've seen since the U.S. has seen since the strike on Iran, or what was the catalyst for the particular timing of this statement, if there was any catalyst?
No details to provide in terms of that. What I can say is these are discussions that have been happening with our partners for a long time, and it's an issue that we take incredibly seriously.
And one other question. I noted that Sunday is the deadline for 180 days since President Trump's executive order for a report from the UN and the United Nations ambassador from the U.S.
Good afternoon, folks. I'm Kim Murphy. No time like the present to join you here at the second hour of the Wisconsin Live Desk. New dance partner with Mary Stoker-Smith, so we're still working on our handoff. We are at the Wisconsin State Fair. It's day one, and you're taking a live look at the pig races. It's one of the big attractions there to see those little oinkers go. And it's a nice day temperature-wise, 74 degrees out there. You can see the breeze, those flags kind of blowing, but it is also an air quality alert day. So let's take you here, and that just gives you a look at the kind of conditions that we are dealing with. The DNR again issuing another air quality advisory. This takes us into Friday. It originally last evening was issued through today, but it's only really gotten worse. And so this air quality advisory is in effect until noon Friday. It may be extended. So if you are headed to the Wisconsin State Fair, make it part of your plan to find some of those air-conditioned pavilions to get in, to, you know, refresh yourself, especially if you are going to the fair with someone who is, you know, in the older age group, or really young kids also can sometimes struggle in these conditions. So temperature-wise, we cannot complain, but the air quality is not the best. So let's switch you now back to those races. We were doing our best to give you a little audio sound for you to hear what's going on, you know, what's a pig race if you can't actually hear the caller. But oh, look at those little porkers lining up. A beautiful pig. Contestant number 1. Never thought I'd be calling a pig race here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Good afternoon, I'm Kim Murphy, first day of the Wisconsin State Fair. You never know what you're going to get here on the Wild Desk. If it's happening, we switch to it right away. And what's happening right now? The pig races at the State Fair. We've seen one of the pigs leaving the trailer, getting into the slot to race around this track. You can see there's a decent crowd gathered for the pig races, which daily happens. That's an attraction at the Wisconsin State Fair. And this is going to be one for the record books. If you've not made a decision or thought about going to the fair today, well, today might be a really good day to go. Let's take a look at some of the things you'll need to know if you are headed to the fair as we work on getting some sound there. Parking is at $15 if you can find parking on the grounds, if those lots remain open. Bikes park for free. Ride shares are also available. Dousman transportation shuttles available, and bar and restaurant shuttles. And really, those are the ways to go, because you know, if you have gone to the fair, parking is like the big obstacle. It may take you about an hour to get into the fairgrounds. No matter how early you get, it is worth, you know, the effort to do it, but just here are some other things that you might want to consider if you are headed to the Wisconsin State Fair. And also, today is Piggly Wiggly $5 day, benefiting the Hunger Task Force. Donate 2 cans of fruits or vegetables. You will get in for $5, and that's going on right now until 4 p.m. only. So if you are headed to the fair, just look in your cupboard or stop by a store, grab 2 cans of fruits or vegetables. You're doing a good thing. You're helping the Hunger Task Force, which helps so many people in our community. If you are headed to the fair, as we do our little round robin here, a reminder, the bag policy. I know it's hot out there, folks, but only certain things are approved for you can bring in the bag policy. Diaper bags, purses smaller than that, you know, a little clutch, and bags smaller than 9 by 10 by 12. So just keep it small. You can't bring in a backpack. You cannot bring in a cooler. You cannot bring in a messenger or camera bag. I know you may be tempted because it's really, you know, it's still kind of thick out there with the air quality, but you can only bring in diaper bags, small purses, and bags smaller than 9 by 10 by 12. And then once you get in there, you might want to go right away for the Sporkies winner, the 2025 Sporky's winner is the ube butter banana French toast lumpia. I like to go for the Sporky winner first and then eat after that. Oh my goodness, happening right now. The ladies, oh my, right, can you feel that? Who hasn't been there? Hangry? After a day at work, the pig races. I guess they've run their race, and as a treat, when they come back in, they get to chow down a little bit before going to cool off in their trailers for the next event. So the pig races just wrapped up there. Sorry we couldn't get you audio of what's actually happening, but you get the picture. They're cute enough to just see as they entertain the crowd, and folks are, you know, seen it, done it, and now it's on to experiencing the rest of the fair. And we are going to take a break on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
I didn't hear anything. No.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. And in just a moment, we are going to do an interview on what's happening with our friends and family and our neighbors. You ever wonder what people are searching? It's a good idea to kind of, you know, you get a pulse on what people are talking about. And so in a couple of moments, we're going to be joined by a Google expert telling us what locally is trending, what we are searching for. But before we get to that, we're going to take you back out to the Wisconsin State Fair to see, look at all those people already. I mean, we are not even 2 o'clock yet, and you can see in the background there, the fair is packed, and why wouldn't it be? It's such a great day, a nice breeze. The only thing that's a little bit of a detractor is that air quality advisor. So we're going to be talking about, or we are talking about, this quarter hour Google Trends, and we're joined by Molly McHugh Johnson. She is an expert with Google. Hey there, Molly. What is going on? First of all, let me bring up your audio here. Thanks for joining us on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Great. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, so let's talk about Google. First of all, why do you guys track these things? Is it just because we love lists as, you know, as consumers?
I mean, I love a list personally, but it is just really interesting to see sort of these moments for these things that there is a certain zeitgeist around, and it kind of helps us see what people are interested in and give a look at like the culture around the country at any given time. So, but yes, I also just love to see a list.
So let's talk about some of the things that are trending here locally. The top searched term in July was?
Well, some of the most searched things this month were the Emmy nominations. I think that one is probably the most popular in culture. We saw it spike on July 17th, which isn't very surprising because the nominations were on the 15th, but the TV shows that got the most attention on search were Severance and White Lotus. So that was pretty interesting. And then when we took a look at sort of activities, state parks were really having a moment this month. And what I really thought interesting for Wisconsin is that most states went one or the other, whether they searched more for national parks or state parks, but Wisconsin was right down the middle. So equal opportunity, which is very interesting. But it looks like a lot of people were interested in going camping at state parks. So we saw things like camping hacks and truck bed camping and even inflatable couch for camping. All of those spiked. Camping hack was actually at an all-time high, so people search for that more than they ever had before. And I would say if you are looking to go camping at a state park, a really good tip I would throw out there is to download your Google Maps ahead of time. This has saved me so many times. So once you're out there in the middle of nowhere, you can still find a place to get to.
Okay, let's talk about what else. Science. There were tech gadgets that were really popular.
Yes, the one I like the most is the best Bluetooth speaker for the beach. That was the breakout search. Seems like something we would have been interested in for a really long time, but yeah, it peaked more than ever before. And then we also saw floating Bluetooth speaker. That rose 110%. We also saw some people looking for laptop deals. I kind of feel like maybe that's as we're getting back to school, we're starting to look around for some of that stuff. So lots of interesting things there. And the one that's my favorite is ebooks were a top trending tech deal searched for last month because I consume a lot of ebooks. So I like that people are also interested in that one.
And also the WNBA. Let's talk about that. That saw a boost.
Yes, I love this. This is so exciting. So the WNBA was searched more than ever before. And we also saw people looking for things like what teams were in the lead and who was going to win. And I just want to point out that if you're like me and you don't know any of the sports things but want to be part of what everyone's looking for, I often will be at these games or with my friends watching, and I will ask Gemini, give me a rundown of the most popular players. So that's kind of a little hack if you need to stay in the know but aren't really sure what's going on.
What's Gen Z talking about? What's the odd thing that they're searching?
So we saw a lot of searches for Labubus, which is definitely something I don't know a lot about, but I think as an elder millennial, it's just past my time. These are little plush keychains. The most popular one searched for was the Ewok Labubu, and that's followed by Miffy, Hello Kitty, JJK, and Pokemon. I only know Hello Kitty and Pokemon from that list, but they have become so popular. And one of the top trending questions related to Labubus are how many teeth does a Labubu have?
Oh my gosh.
So I thought that was really funny. And actually what was interesting is search interest in plush keychains is at a global all-time high, not just in the US. So this is everywhere.
Where did these Labubus come from? What propelled them into our conversation?
That's such a great question. I really don't know. The state that is searching for them the most is California. So I guess if we want to look around the country at who is pushing this, it could be that California is just making them more and more popular.
Oh my goodness. Molly, thank you so much. It's always, like I said, I love lists and kind of seeing what other people are Googling and what's on their minds. And so it seems like going outside, how they can enjoy with their music, where are the best spots. And of course, you have to have a Labubu on your keychain?
Yeah, I think you nailed it.
Okay, great. Now I'm ready to end the summer hot girl style. Molly, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, have a great day. There you have
You
it. So if you've heard Labubus and wonder, what the heck is that? Well, you just saw. It's also something that a lot of people, they've heard about, but not necessarily know what it is or what they are. They're searching too on Google, so that is good. you're not alone in that. So let's take you back out to the Wisconsin State Fair. You can see we are getting crowded there. And if you are headed down to the fair today, there are some ways that you can get in with a little bit of a discount. That is until 4 o'clock, because today is Piggly Wiggly $5 day until 4 o'clock, I should say. So, oops. Let's bring you back here. We're taking you all over the place, aren't we? There. What I was saying is that we're going to tell you about how you can get into, there you go, State Fair, $5 Piggly Wiggly Day, benefiting the Hunger Task Force. Donate 2 cans of fruits or vegetables. Get in for $5, only until 4 p.m. I also popped up, you saw Ben Handelman. Consider that a tease. He is headed out to the State Fair. He will be joining us 4 and 5 and 6 o'clock this evening on FOX6 News. And here, let me take you there, is a look at where we will be set up there, kind of behind the grandstand. So if you are wanting to say hello or yell up to our Fox Sixers who will be there, our weather experts along with Ben Handelman, it's a good day to do that. We also want to remind you of the air quality, and this is, you know, we don't want to deter you from going out and enjoying the fair, but there's just some things that you should know if you are headed out. There is a air quality advisory. The DNR issued that until noon Friday. And so here are some of the symptoms you should just be aware of. If you or someone that you are with experiencing wheezing, coughing, chest tightness, that's a hint. It's time to get inside, get out of the poor air quality. The groups that are really susceptible, people with heart or lung disease, older adults, and children. So really keep tabs on how long those groups especially are outside, and take breaks, bring them inside. If you're headed to the fair, no problem. They've got the big expo center that you can dip into, the Products Expo Center, hang out in there, get some air conditioning, get something to drink, and just recharge before you head out into the air, because it's no joke out there. You can really actually see the poor air quality out there. It's cool, temperature-wise, that's a good thing, but the air, it just is, it's not the best. And so that is something that we are learning to contend with, and you just be smart out there. Our meteorologist, Chief Meteorologist Tom Walks, if you joined us last night for the FOX6 News at 9, he's dealing with laryngitis, and this air quality making it worse. It's just not good. If you are dealing with any kind of a respiratory issue, this air, it only makes it a little more difficult. So we're going to take a break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We'll be back with more news of the day.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Happening right now in Washington, D.C., day 2 of hearings, the National Transportation Safety Board reviewing evidence and the latest in the investigation into that January mid-air collision between a passenger jet and a Black Hawk helicopter. Let's listen in.
And everything else there. Do you see anything that seems reminiscent of your findings at that time of problematic areas? Understanding you haven't actually done another review there. I just meant, you know.
Right. A couple things. One is an area of concern that I voiced back in 2016, 2017 timeframe, dealing with the routes. And one of the routes, there's two different ones I speak to. One is, I don't know if it's Route 1 or 6 that goes over the top of the airport, east to west, west to east. It goes at 1,000 feet. It may have been moved up to 1,200, I'm not sure. But in the event of any go-around, that airplane on the go is going to climb up to 1,500 feet, and they're going to have a problem. The other issue was traffic coming down Route 4 around Haynes Point. It appeared that controllers did not, they felt as though it was procedurally it was okay, but we never saw the identical situation occur to where we could say they're non-compliant here. It just gave that appearance, and we didn't have a warm fuzzy about that. So, and these types of concerns are only shared with the facility, and then they either, do something about it or they don't. And in this case, I believe they did something with it as part of some mitigations dealing with visual separation. It might have been around the 2019 area.
Okay, so when you say...
Listening to a difficult line of questioning, this is day 2 of the National Transportation Safety Board's public hearings into that January mid-air collision between an Army Black Hawk helicopter and a passenger plane. 67 souls aboard the aircrafts died. On the first day, investigators talked about a number of factors that may have contributed to the crash and the warnings about the helicopter traffic that the FAA received years before the tragedy over the Potomac. And you were hearing testimony along those lines.
From the other traffic.
Do you mean before and after or during?
No, during the pilot applied visual separation, is there any distance requirements that they maintain from that other traffic?
No, the pilot is responsible for determining the safe distance to maintain.
Okay, thank you. And then Mr. Van Vechten, you mentioned that traffic landing on runway 1 was parallel to Route 4, and that it may not be as much of a concern to you on Route 4, traffic landing on Route 1. That being the case, if your mental model of the traffic is that traffic is inbound for runway 1 and it is pointed out to you, how does that affect your scan?
My scan would be focused from Wilson Bridge down and to the right to the approach end of runway 1.
And if you were under the understanding that traffic was circling for 3-3, how would that affect your scan?
I would look from Wilson Bridge and begin to scan to the left. I'm at a low altitude, so I should be able to silhouette the aircraft on the horizon.
And can you mentioned this earlier, I believe, you touched on resource management. Can you briefly talk about what inter-cockpit communications look like when traffic is pointed out by air traffic control?
You broke up there a little bit in the beginning. Did you say crew resource management?
Yeah, I'm sorry. What those inter-cockpit communications look like per Army policy when traffic is pointed out?
So our crew coordination, we would identify the traffic and point it out to the rest of the crew. There would be a confirmation, traffic observed or traffic in sight, visual on the traffic, something to that nature once it's seen.
Is that required per Army policy every time that traffic is pointed out by air traffic control?
Not specifically, but announce actions, acknowledge actions, provide traffic and advisories is all part of our crew coordination essential elements.
Thank you. And then I know we've talked about this, but I would like to go back to it just very briefly. It seems like there's some confusion or disagreement about Route 4 or the helicopter routes in general. If we can pull up Exhibit 2, Hilo Juliet. This is a helicopter route chart for Baltimore, Washington. And we're looking at the legend. And the red boxes are not in the exhibit. We added those for clarity for this question. Mr. Fuller, we see that in the legend we have recommended route altitudes, and then we have another indication in the legend where it says the route altitudes are maximum. From the FAA standpoint, what's the FAA expect of the pilot, how they would interpret this?
Again, our interpretation is that would be the maximum altitude. We understand the confusion. We are working internally. That's part of what this National Helicopter Working Group is, because like you said, our own documentation here is not clear. It says recommended in the box, then it has maximum, then it has another box that says recommended. We recognize that we need to do work on this so that everyone has a clear expectation and understanding of what's being applied here.
And you mentioned that there are some changes you're working on this chart. Is that one of the things that sounds like that you plan to clear up in the legend?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then Mr. Van Vechten, if you as a pilot looked at that chart, what is your interpretation as a pilot of that legend?
Yes, that is confusing with conflicting information.
You were hearing the questioning. The FAA did not add warnings to helicopter charts. That is the testimony. There was a group that raised concerns about all of the helicopter traffic around Ronald Reagan Airport and the risk of a collision. This was back in 2022. This revealed in the testimony day one. But the FAA refused to add a warning to the helicopter charts, urging pilots to use caution when this runway was in use. And so you've seen some of those documents submitted, and an official there speaking to the lack of clarity on where those Army helicopters would be allowed to fly.
Yes, Mr. Van Vechten, following up on the crew coordination discussion, when pointing out traffic and pointing out traffic to the crew, you wouldn't necessarily need a verbal confirmation that the other crew member sees it. Is that correct? You could get a gesture or some other type of confirmation.
Under goggles, that would be difficult. If I'm on the controls and I'm flying the aircraft and my co-pilot says traffic 11 o'clock 1 mile, no factor, I may give a quick thumbs up if I'm busy, but under goggles that would be difficult to see. So I would expect a verbal confirmation.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman, the tech panel is done for the moment.
All right. Thank you very much. We're going to move to the parties, and I'm going to, yesterday I started with airline pilots, then I went to the opposite end here alphabetically. I went with the U.S. Army, so I'm going to start in the middle and go with the National Air Traffic Controllers Association.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Thank you, witnesses. I know it's been a long day. We just have some questions that mainly clarify or expand on some of the testimony during the day. So I'd like to start with Mr. Allen, and we appreciate all the insight and the information about the operation, how it operates in the tower. One question is, would you feel it is too restrictive to take the ability of an operational supervisor or a controller in charge, take the decision making away from them to dynamically, I think we used that word earlier, manage the operation, so to determine if they need a position open and closed, where to staff the controllers for the day, traffic level, and complexity.
So first day of the hearings, this is 3 days. This will cover on that crash that happened in January. The Army says that there was a discrepancy of about 70 to 100 feet between the Black Hawk's equipment, and it said that that is within the acceptable range because pilots are expected to maintain their altitude plus or minus 100 feet. The concern is that the FAA approved routes around Ronald Reagan that included such a small separation between the helicopters and the planes when the planes are landing.
Okay, thank you. I'd just like to move a little bit on to the conflict alerting, and anyone on the panel, but I think Mr. Allen, you'll have the most insight on this. But so we talked a little bit about conflict alerting and what that looks like in the radar, on the radar display for the controller in the tower cab. I'm just curious if you're familiar with what the requirements are of the controller for the controller handbook or the 7110.65. What actions is the controller required to take in the event that conflict alert goes off?
To evaluate the situation between aircraft and take action if necessary.
Okay, thank you. So are there times when conflict alert goes off that no action is required from the controller?
Yes.
Okay. And then are there times that we would expect conflict to go off or indicate when pilot applied visual separation is being used?
Yes, it can go off when you've already mitigated the alarm.
Okay, thank you. On the evening of the accident, when pilot applied visual separation was applied the first time, would you expect conflict alerting to be going off at that time?
The first time that it went off, that he issued traffic, no, I believe there was a significant distance between those aircraft.
Okay, thank you. And then, so working in the tower, reference conflict alerting on the radar scope, and then also safety alerting that's in the airport surface detection equipment, or also known as the ASDE. Could you explain the differences when a controller receives an alert on either the ASDE versus the radar and the expectations?
Yeah, so to stick with the conflict alert, when the parameters in the software dictate, it will alarm audible and the visual alarm.
So you're listening to the testimony, day 2 of what has so far been revealed in the NTSB's investigation into that fatal crash that happened in January involving a Black Hawk helicopter and a passenger jet. 67 people died. We want to take you now to something that is happening. North Carolina, the chair of the RNC, launching his campaign for the Senate. Let's listen in.
Recently, Donald Trump, our magnificent 47th president, called North Carolina on a special mission. Said he, "I have a mission for my friends in North Carolina, and that is to get Michael Whatley to run for the United States Senate." Ladies and gentlemen, that has been achieved. Michael Whatley has responded to that critical mission call, and he is running for the United States of America Senate. I'm Jimmy Dixon, and I have over 62 years' experience as a proud North Carolina farmer, and just as proudly, the proud papa to 7 grandchildren. I'm here to enthusiastically represent the combined voice of farmers and agribusiness men and women and their hard-working families across this beautiful state. We, who produce the food and the fiber necessary to feed our state and to feed our nation, strongly endorse Michael Whatley to represent farmers and the entire agribusiness industry in the Senate of the United States of America. It is the hard-working family farmers across this state that represent the foundation of the state's #1 industry, agriculture, producing $111.1 billion economic impact. I am positive, and from experience, I know that Michael Whatley has the ear of President Trump. I know that on issues related to agriculture, he will represent us well. Now,
You're listening to some of the buildup. We are expecting Michael Whatley to speak. He's the RNC chair, announcing that he will run for the Senate seat. This is big. President Trump actually went on social media and pretty much floated his name, saying that he wanted Whatley to run, and it seems that that call to action has been accepted, and Michael Whatley, again, expected to enter the race here. He is the party chair of the Republican Party, so he is a well-known name. He's a lawyer. He's served as the 66th chair of the Republican National Committee since March of 2024. Before that, he was the chair of the North Carolina Republican Party from 2019 to 2024. And then last year, he served as the RNC's general counsel. So let's listen to Michael Whatley.
Robeson County, North Carolina, Representative Jared Lowry.
Or not quite, Michael Whatley. Hold tight.
Announcement from the next United States Senator from North Carolina. It's sending a signal that every single person in North Carolina is going to have their voice heard. I'm not only a representative for North Carolina House District 47 in Robeson County, but I'm a proud member of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina. And I can tell you that Michael Whatley believes that every single voice in North Carolina needs to be heard, not just those special interests from Illinois.
We are anticipating Michael Whatley to announce that he is running, officially entering the U.S. Senate race in North Carolina. This is going to be a race between two big names. Roy Cooper, former governor of North Carolina, is running as a Democrat. So we're going to take a break, and hopefully on the other side of this, we will hear from Michael Whatley officially declare his candidacy.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
We're nearly coming to the end of the Wisconsin Live Desk. We're following two big stories, so let us take a look. On the right, we are expected to hear a big announcement in North Carolina's Senate race. Michael Whatley is expected to announce that he is running for that seat. And on your right is the Michael Whatley announcement. On your left, this is the the NTSB hearing that is happening in D.C. right now. Getting to the bottom of what happened in January when that Army Black Hawk helicopter and a passenger plane collided midair as that plane was coming in for a landing. 67 people aboard the two aircrafts perished in that. And on the first day, investigators highlighted a number of things that may have contributed to this, including a warning that the FAA received years before about the volume of traffic flying around Ronald Reagan Airport. So that is something that is, again, being discussed. The FAA didn't add warnings to helicopter charts following those warnings, the officials say, and they want to know why. The FAA refused to add the warning to the helicopter charts that may have heightened the awareness of those pilots to use caution when this runway was in use. This is the event that actually led to that crash. Video and animation has also been presented during the proceedings of the first day, showing the helicopter flying above 200 feet altitude limit, above the limit. So it was higher than it was supposed to be before colliding with the plane. And investigators said on Wednesday that the flight data recorder showed that the helicopter was actually 80 feet to 100 feet higher than the pilot's equipment that they relied on, that it showed. So the pilot's equipment did not reflect that they were higher than they should have been. And then we've heard a little bit about whether or not goggles would have impeded their visual assessment of what was going on. So let's dip into this just a little bit more.
Or two helicopters or a helicopter, it's
but
situational.
In specific types of, is it headings and altitudes type? What are those actual instructions that they could issue?
They could utilize a form of visual separation. They could use diverging headings. They could do a number of things.
Okay, thank you. So the 710.65 specifically talks about heading and altitude changes that are being potentially issued if there is some sort of conflicting. If visual separation actually appears to be inadequate, it states that
We're following two stories, one involving the Senate race and why this is so important. We're talking about a battleground state where we could see some changes in Congress, and then on your left we're hearing some of the testimony in the NTSB as answers are being demanded on how this mid-air collision could have happened in January that claimed the lives of 67 people. We're going to take a break, and when we come back I want to update you on the latest in the Slender Man case. There has been a decision made on the conditional release of Morgan Geyser. We'll tell you exactly what that means right after this.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
A judge today has approved the conditional release of Morgan Geyser that happened this afternoon. And so let's give you a little bit of the details of what this actually means. Morgan Geyser, of course, is one of the two girls who was convicted in the Slender Man stabbing. Geyser is now 22 years old. She spent 7 years in a psychiatric hospital, and in August, she will be released to a group home in Sun Prairie. Now, originally, it was suggested that she be released to a group home in Manitowoc, but her lawyer felt that placement would not be good for her, and so that leads us to today's hearing, and so they have now agreed on a group home in Sun Prairie, and so she will be released. That is set to happen sometime in August. When, we actually do not know, but Morgan Geyser, now 22-year-old, is going to be released after 7 years in a psychiatric hospital after pleading guilty to attempted first-degree homicide. And we'll have much more on that coming up on Fox 6 News at 4. We are also keeping an eye on two national stories here. On your right, we are expecting Michael Whatley to announce that he is running for the Senate seat in North Carolina. And this is important because Democrats see 2026 as a chance to flip one of North Carolina's U.S. Senate seats for the first time in years. Republicans want a new senator who will be more loyal to President Trump. And President Trump actually pretty much said, this is who I want to run for this seat. And now this seems to be happening. It is happening. Michael Whatley will announce that he is going to run for the 2026 midterms. And so this is going to be one of those races that could also go a long way to determining whether Democrats or Republicans are more likely to have control of the Senate after the 2028 elections, when Americans will elect a new president. In the last 40 years, only 3 Democrats have represented North Carolina in the U.S. Senate. The state's U.S. Senate races in recent history have been mostly dominated by Republicans as well. So Republicans think that they can keep the streak going, but Democrats, not so sure. They think that they have a chance of flipping that seat. So we are keeping an eye on that. That's on the right. On the left here, we are dipping into some of the testimony that is happening into the warnings that the FAA apparently did not heed in terms of traffic around Ronald Reagan Airport. So let's dip in for our final couple of minutes as we await Michael Whatley.
Aircraft have been cleared to perform on. There's a conflict. That's an induced conflict. It's a physical conflict that's induced. And although there's responsibility to maintain separation, I don't know the physical means of not saying that's not converging traffic, in which case why there wasn't. I just want to be clear that there was never a call to Flight 5342 that there was converging traffic. Despite the routes had to cross. There's no way to proceed down Route 4 and not cross the center line of 33 with approaching traffic, and that call did not occur. Is that a fact?
Correct.
Okay.
Now let's take you to our own skyline here. We are under air quality advisory, another one. So what does this mean? Well, I think this is especially important because a lot of folks may be headed to the fair, and this is what you should keep in mind. Wheezing, coughing, chest tightness, those could be symptoms of someone struggling with the air quality. So get them inside. Try to limit your time outside. Vulnerable groups especially are people with heart, lung conditions, older adults, and children. If you're going to the fair, there are plenty of air-conditioned inside areas where you can dip away to regroup so that you can enjoy the fair, but also do it wisely. If you are headed to the fair, you have just a couple more hours to get in for discounts. It's Piggly Wiggly $5 day benefiting the Hunger Task Force. All you have to do is bring in 2 cans of food and you get in for $5. Now Michael Whatley is speaking, announcing his candidacy for the U.S. Senate, and this is a big race. This is one that President Trump is involved in. He called for Whatley to run, and let's listen.
Without his leadership, without what he has done over the last 10 years to remake the Republican Party into the party that is going to stand for every family and every community all across the country, we would not be sitting here today. You know, I became a Republican on January 20th, 1981. I was a 12-year-old kid watching Ronald Reagan get sworn in as our 40th president of the United States. And all of a sudden, the news coverage shifted over to the fact that Iran was releasing 52 hostages that had been held for 444 days. It was a quick lesson that even a 12-year-old kid could pick up in peace through strength. And it was an important lesson in understanding that elections have consequences. Fast forward to today.
Okay, so here's what's going on. That is Michael Whatley. He is going to run for the U.S. Senate to replace Tom Tillis. Democrats see this as a chance to flip one of North Carolina's U.S. Senate seats for the first time in years. Republicans want a new senator who will be more loyal to President Trump, and they have that in Michael Whatley. We leave you with a look at what's happening at the Wisconsin State Fair. Yep, it's the first day of the fair. You still have some time to get in. For $5, bring in 2 canned goods, and you help the people in our area who are struggling with food insecurity. We thank you so much for joining us, and if you are headed out to the fair, just be careful out there. Take some time to step inside. This is the Wisconsin Live Desk. I'm Kim Murphy. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
The aspect of just how random it was. You know, it's you know, when we were talking last night in the command center that it was every agent's worst nightmare, because in a typical investigation we use we call victimology.